Boom shaka. Hey everybody, how are you? Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where in the world you are. It's Jeff Gellman of Solid Canine Training. Linda's next to me. She's going to be helping out with the show. And this is the One with Jeff 2 show. We try to do it at least once a week, sometimes on Mondays, sometimes on Tuesdays. We shoot for 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Doesn't always work. Hey to my show. My name is Jeff Gellman of Solid Canine Training, and I have got a training facility up in Providence, Rhode Island. We specialize in aggression rehab and behavior modification. Take that out of her mouth, please.
Is this thing working?
Yep.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, good. Come to me. Good. And but we also deal with basic obedience, off-leash and on-leash obedience. Really good at stopping unwanted behaviors. If you've never heard the show before, I talk a lot about punishment. Why? Because you'll notice that most people, they ask me during this show, Jeff, how do I stop this? The only way to stop any unwanted behavior is through punishment. It's impossible to do it through rewards. Ironically, if you go to our training center and watch us work dogs, no matter how bad the dogs are, 90% of the time we're rewarding them, but nobody's asking me how to teach like a command on this show, which I'll go over to me, but what we'll do is we'll explain that a little bit better if you're brand new to the show. If you don't know, I travel the world doing seminars. I just came back from a fantastic seminar in Baltimore, Maryland. It was great. Photos are starting to trickle up. I'll get that photo of them done in the next 24 hours. And then this weekend, I got one in Providence, Rhode Island, and working spots are selling out at all of these seminars. We actually just announced another one in Providence. So when you see one of the seminars, if you go to RV Dog Trainer, rvdogtrainer.com, go to the seminar site, pick out your city you want to go to, and working spots, they always sell out. They always sell out. So anyway, let's get right into it, Linda. What do we got?
I want to say hi to Tina. Hi, Tina.
Oh, hey, Tina. How
hey,
are you?
California. Hey, Florida. Hey, Canada.
Hey, everybody.
Let's see.
There's a bunch of them that came in earlier.
Just a couple. There's one about arrest security
there we
dog.
Go.
Hey, got a security dog, but he pulls when I walk and pulls me to other dogs.
Okay, so I don't know what a security dog means, but if you got a security dog, you got yourself a badly behaved one, and that's not a diss on you at all. But I'm not quite sure a security dog would be a protection dog or it would be a perimeter security dog. But you have to teach your dog how to properly heel next to you. Get yourself a proper prong collar. I've got a video on that. If it's a dog that's over 50 pounds for my European friends, anything over about 22 kilos. And what you would do is 3mm prong collar for that, fit it on the neck up nice and high. Watch my video on how to introduce it to the dog. How to start the dog on it and how to start your walk. Getting a dog to walk on a leash is the most basic of commands. I don't want your dog pulling towards another dog, whether he wants to say hi or if he wants to, get into a fight. The dog should be next to you and you should be one with the dog and you're not out to socialize. So socializing is not meeting other dogs on walks or meeting people on walks. So that's what you're going to do on that. Next.
Dog tears apart pillows when left out of crate when home alone. Solution to crate him always.
Yeah, well, if a dog is destroying, first of all, when you leave the house, crate your dog. That's the answer. Bottom line, that's the answer. So this is the thing. You're going to get a lot of people that will say, oh, well, that's management. Okay, then it's management. Great. This concept of leaving your dog unattended in your home, unsupervised, where it could die from the simplest thing or destroy something that's worth so much money or even a little bit of money, it's ridiculous. So crate your dog. Next.
The one about the security dog. Yes, he trains, but he just does that.
Okay. But still, prong collar on your dog. They should have, whoever trained him to be a security dog, they should have trained him how to walk on a leash, but you can do that. No problem. Just train him up. It's easy. It's a 5-minute process. Next.
How long should a dachshund be walked a day?
That's Kathy. That's personal choice. How much time do you have? It's a smaller breed dog. A lot of those dogs can last for a long time. It all depends on how good of shape the dog is in. We see a lot of dachshunds that are overweight, so be very careful. Be careful with your dachshunds jumping off of things. Dachshunds are prone to spine injuries as well. So how long? A couple of 30-minute walks is nice, and then do some mental stimulation. Next.
Got 2 of my walking clients to buy Hermspringer prongs. Can't wait for our next walk now.
Awesome. Yeah, Whitney, make it mandatory. You just make it policy. All of my clients' dogs have to be trained to walk on a prong collar because I'm not going to get my ass dragged around the neighborhood. Make it simple. Next.
Do you believe in crate training when you're home?
Well, that's two separate things. I believe in crate training. Do I believe in crating a dog when you're home? If you need to, why not? I believe in not allowing a dog to be out of your field of vision, because then you don't know what your dog is doing. But if you need some downtime and you can't keep your eyes on your dog, crate your dog. It's not mean at all. Crating is not mean. Crating is not mean. Next.
Are there things you can do to build a dog's confidence?
There's tons of things, Russell. One of the things you can do is, for starters, obedience training. Obedience training. Become everything for your dog. Put lots of boundaries and structure into your dog's life. Lead a permission-based role in your dog's life. If your dog is being nervous and fearful, don't coddle it. Actually, if your dog tries to flee from you, what you actually can do is actually prevent it from fleeing from you. Also, if anybody wants to share this, feel free to share this. If you're not following me, make sure you follow me and check us out on all our social media platforms. All right, next.
Okay, I'm not sure what this one even means. When is your key to allow dogs to play rough instead of calm?
So Robin, two of my personal dogs can play rough with each other. They can't play rough with any other dog. So it never leads to a fight, and I can stop it instantly. So if you're going to let your dogs get all riled up, you better be able to stop it literally in a split second, and don't let your dogs do that with other unknown dogs. Next.
Trying to crate train my 6-year-old dog, but she hates the crate. How do I get her more comfortable in it?
Well, this is the thing. As far as the dog hating the crate, this is my concept. Oh, well, get over it, as far as the dog is concerned. As far as getting comfortable with it, what you have to do is actually make the dog not liking it suck. That's how you do it. So flip it. Like, who knows if your dog will be comfortable with it or not? Because it's not about like putting stuffed toys in there and putting a comfortable bed and having, like, none of that stuff means anything to a dog that doesn't like to be in the crates. The act of trying to get out of the crate, though, you make suck. And how do you do it? You do it in a night. Like this concept of like 15 minutes at a time, 20 minutes at a time, that's the biggest bunch of bullshit I've ever heard in my life. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to take a week off of work and get your dog acclimated to the crate 20 minutes at a time. That's what they're asking you to do. No, put your dog in the crate. If it makes noise, bang on the top of the crate and tell it to knock it off and go to sleep. Next.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, we do it successfully all the time. Dogs come into our board and train facility. They have to sleep in a crate overnight on day one. It's the way it is. Next. Mm-hmm. Your dog gets surrendered to an animal shelter. It goes into a kennel. Next.
Got dog as an adult. He doesn't play. Is it important to teach him to play?
Sarah, just do stuff with the dogs. Just do stuff. Do stuff. Next. Like walking. How can the car be freaking full? I'm glad I got the backup right here. Next.
Oh my goodness.
Next.
I'm going. Wish I had known more about prongs and e-collars years ago. They have been my aha moment. Thank you.
Awesome.
Is it possible for a dog to be over-motivated with food? He loses control when training with food.
Yeah, Christina, that's the big issue, is that food absolutely does that. Absolutely. Stop using treats. Use the dog's daily food. But food can hurt, not just help. If it hurts by getting the dog to be over-aroused, stop using it. Remember, I'm a family pet dog trainer. I'm not doing it for sport or performance or trick. It's family pet. The last thing I want my dog to do is to be bonkers in my house. Next.
A German Shepherd in the summer. How do I know when he's getting too hot?
I mean, if you live in Vegas, don't go out after 10 o'clock. Like any of these hot climates, after 10 a.m., it's usually too hot. Dogs need to pant, monitor its water, monitor its, the dog will end up passing out and dying. So what I would do is I would read a good article on recognizing heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. Next.
Love tuning in for the Jeff and Linda show. Love y'all.
Awesome.
Thank you. How to make dog aggressive.
You don't need your dog to be aggressive. You don't need your dog to be aggressive. Next.
What is your opinion on neutering? I've heard mixed opinions.
you're going to hear endless amount of opinions. I believe it's just like a female. I believe it's personal choice. It doesn't stop unwanted behaviors unless having more puppies is the unwanted behavior. So it doesn't stop aggression. It doesn't stop anxiety. It doesn't stop pushy snottiness. It doesn't stop marking. But you know, if you're not going to breed your dog, which you probably shouldn't do because we have enough dogs out there and chances are the dog you have is not breeding quality, then you can at an older age. I mean, I'm a big fan of letting dogs be at least a year old, but then again, you're going to hear all kinds of opinions on that. All kinds of opinions. My next male dog probably won't be neutered because that's my personal choice, but that dog will be imported from Europe and it'll be genetically sound. So, you know, I'm going to have that option. Next.
New puppy growls at husband, 5-month cattle dog border collie mix. We had him for 4. How to correct?
How to correct. Anytime you want to stop an unwanted behavior, you use punishment. But what's the husband doing if he's doing anything? What's the structure, leadership, guidance in the house? How much freedom is that dog getting? How much affection are you giving that dog? Are you possibly reinforcing it? And what I mean by that is dog growls, you reach out and you touch the dog and say, stop that. Don't do that. If you're going to reach out and touch the dog, I'm not saying smack your dog, but it better not be friendly. Anything you do after a growl, as long as it's in your average behavioral sphere, should be a punisher. So the dog needs to learn what no means. A lot of dogs don't know what no means, but most humans actually reinforce growling, but not on purpose. Next.
I have a Lab Rottweiler mix, 12. Do you think a puppy would be good for her?
No, I don't. You have a 12-year-old dog, chances are the puppy will piss off your dog. The puppy would be good for you. Next.
What is your opinion on vaccinations?
Personal choice. I believe that we over-vaccinate on. Robin, you're asking me the same question. I'm not a vet. I'm not a vet. So I think we over-vaccinate our dogs, but we also, in the state of Rhode Island, I'm licensed by DEM. I have to do certain things with my dogs, but dogs are over-vaccinated, that's for sure. So are humans. Next.
Controversial. How do I keep my 4-month-old dog from eating poop?
4-month-old dog from eating poop. Jennifer, what I would do is there has to be a punisher. So 16 weeks old, you know, I don't really want to use a remote collar for it, but you might as well stop it now. Remote collar on your dog. First of all, clean it up, but that ain't going to stop the bad behavior. That's what everyone else is going to tell you to do. Clean it up. It's like, okay, great. So I'm a speedy poop cleaner upper. My dog trained me. So remote collar on your dog. Dog goes out to eat the poop. You're outside. You're inside watching it, and boom, give your dog a pretty firm correction. But it's 16 weeks old. 16 weeks old. Your dog absolutely shouldn't be unsupervised outside. It's too young. It should be on a leash with you. It should be on a leash with you because it's 16 weeks old. It doesn't know anything yet. Next.
How do you use the e-collar train recall off leash?
You'd start it on leash, and I've got a video on my YouTube channel. So go to my video on my YouTube channel, and it's all done on leash with food, layering the remote collar over it. Next.
Is there one prong collar better than other prongs?
Yes, Herm Sprenger makes a superior prong collar, and there's a bunch of knockoff ones now, so you have to be careful. But Herm Sprenger, nothing more than a 3 millimeter. No dog needs more than a 3 millimeter prong collar. Next.
Still doing free Skypes?
No, Melissa. I stopped that. I did over 400 free Skypes in 2017. I'm doing a tip of the day now, but I still do Skypes every day. That's actually how I make a living. So I actually make a living by helping people remotely with their dogs as well. That's my gig as a consultant. Next.
How do I teach my 9-month-old dog to stay off the couch unless invited?
So Liv, number one, your dog should be on the couch at least probably for another 9 months. You make getting on the couch suck. It's as simple as that. Anytime you want to stop an unwanted behavior, there has to be a punisher. So if your dog's not underneath voice control, you should have a leash on. So most your average family pet dog is not underneath voice control, meaning it listens to your voice to commands. So what you do is you have a remote collar on your dog. Dog gets up on the couch, and you give the dog a high level correction. And guess what? Getting on the couch sucks. Simple concept. Teach your dog the place command. places, go to a dog bed and don't get off. Sorry, everybody on YouTube, you're not able to see this. So there's 2 dogs right there. They're on place. They're not tired. They're not exhausted. They're not bored. And it's not because I'm a dog trainer and they're my dogs. Every dog learns that at our training facility in the first week. I've got free videos on the place command. Anybody can train the dog to do place in 1 to 2 days. Next.
You're awesome. Thanks for the seminar, Jeff.
Oh, Chelsea, my pleasure. Thank you.
Last year, got a pug puppy and put pee pads down. Now 15 months old, he goes outside, but still poops and pees on pee pads.
Timothy, trained your dog to piss and shit in the house. That's what you did. So that's what you did. So I'm not a big fan of pee pads, just for that reason. From the very youngest age, your dog should learn, and you didn't know this, Timothy. I'm not yelling at you. I'm not mad at you. I don't shame people, but that's why don't use pee pads. You're teaching your dog to piss in the house, shit in the house. So from the very earliest imprinting days, we're teaching our dogs lifelong behaviors. I want that dog to always be going outside and never think about going anywhere else. So what do you do now? Train your dog at a minimum. Keep your dog in eyesight at all times, monitor the food and water, and then also make sure you have a really good schedule. You can download actually, if you join our Patreon page, you can download our puppy schedule for potty training next.
What's up, Jeff and Linda?
Hey, what's up with you? Hey, Jamal.
How long did it take you GSD to learn bomb detection?
Well, technically, they're always learned about 3 months. 3 months to be proficient in it. So Kiera got explosive detection on 12 odors in about 3 months. Next.
Took dog to a big crowd. He was good, but very whiny. Dog is on prong collar.
Sarah, your dog is just telling you that it's uncomfortable. So that's what the whining is. It's arousal. It could be excitement. It could be a lot of things. A remote collar would dramatically help you with that because you can do the dog. You can correct the dog for the whining. You can correct whining. If anybody tells you out there you can't correct whining because you'll make it worse, they're full of shit, they're lying, or they've just never been able to figure it out how to do it. Next. Keep in mind that most things online about dog training are wrong. Next.
Can I use a pet convincer for puppy biting?
Yes, you can. Next.
What is considered punishment?
Punishment is first of all, this is what it's not. It's not yelling, it's not screaming, and it's not timeout. Those are not punishments for dogs or kids, in my opinion. A punishment is something that is intolerable to the dog that lasts for usually 1 second. We like to use prong collar corrections. We like to use remote collar corrections. We like to use a bonker. A bonker is a wrapped up towel that you literally throw it at the dog. It is extremely important that everybody learns how to properly reward their dog. A lot of people are rewarding their dogs wrong, as well as punish their dog. If you want to stop any unwanted behavior, you have to understand how to properly punish. If a dog trainer out there says you don't need to punish, they're able to rehab dogs without it. Again, they're full of shit, they're lying to you, and they're actually unethical. Next.
Treadmill training. And obedience training, anxious dog who resource guards. What else can I do?
Bonnie, none of those things are going to stop resource guarding. None of them. Resource guarding is a 1 to 3 second fix with a remote collar. Teach the out command. All right, you can do that. So still treadmill your dog, still do obedience with your dog, still exercise your dog, still have structure with your dog, but that won't stop resource guarding. Resource guarding is a separate thing. You need to address it specifically. How do you do that? Remote collar, and you teach the out command, and I've got a video on that. And I demonstrate it at all my seminars.
Oh, it says he's also pinning down my other dog.
Pinning down your other dog? So your dog's a pushy, snotty little dog. So you can stop that as well. So that's a leadership issue that you've got to have with you and the dog in the house. Next.
Linda, love your highlights. Why, thank you. Tune in 6 weeks and I'll have a different color hair because I never do them twice. I had a Tibetan Mastiff, and every Tibetan Mastiff I have seen has a habit of jumping walls. Jumping
walls is easy enough to fix. Remote collar with thick fur contact points. Here, remember at the beginning of the show, I said all we're going to do is talk about punishment? So if you ran to the show and you want to know why I talk about it so much, follow the questions. Follow the questions. How do I stop my dog from doing these things? Punishment. But ironically, in the course of my day, we do a ton of food, clicker, marker training, reward-based training 90% of our day. but we eliminate the bad behavior, boom, now we teach the dog what we want. So for jumping walls, again, make the act of jumping walls one of the most horrific things in that dog's life. Why? It could die. It jumps a wall. It can attack somebody. Tibetan Mastiffs can be a little bit nasty sometimes. That's not a stereotype. It's just what they're for. You know, they're not exactly lap dogs. So what you want to do is you'd make it suck to jump the wall. And you can also, if you wanted to, you can also put underground fencing in as a safety. You can also put hot wire fencing in. You can also put coyote rollers up if you really wanted to. Next.
Pitbull has behavioral issues. Aussie has no issues. Is it fair to only create the pitbull?
Heidi, don't worry about fair. Okay? Dog ownership is, it's not a democracy. Dog ownership is a dictatorship. This concept of like, no, I want to have an equal relationship with my dog. Really? Hey, Kira, where's my 10 grand a month? That's what it costs me to take care of my family. It don't work that way. No, it's a dictatorship. Do what you want. Next.
What do you think of the Hermspringer prongs with the snap buckle replacing the center plate?
Tim, if it's easier for you to, because you've got dexterity issues, get it. But you lose about 2 of the prongs. Would I ever own a pit bull? Of course I would own a pit bull. I've owned many pit bulls in my life. Like, I'd also date a black girl. I would also date an Asian woman. I would also date a Hispanic woman. Next.
Do you have any good trainer recommendations or connections in Northern California?
What's that?
Do you have?
Oh, in Northern California. Sean. The only one in California I recommend is Sean O'Shea. Mm-hmm. The Good Dog. TheGoodDog.net. Next.
Jeff, are you using clickers for training basic obedience too, or more for behavior mods?
Absolutely basic obedience to start dogs off on obedience commands.
Puppy taken early from the mom bites at my other dogs. Let the dogs correct.
Jake, if the dogs don't correct, you got to do it for the dog. Next.
Thinking about teaching my dog to track. Is this okay for a normal house dog?
Yeah, Russell. Yeah, start with nose work first. Tracking is a lot of work. So Kira can track. So tracking is a lot of work. It can be a pain in the ass to set your own tracks. You know, it's long work, long hours. You know, it doesn't have to be, but do nose work instead. Just teach it nose work. Next.
Hello, I know people train guide dog puppies starting at a young age, very specific.
They don't teach, no, they do puppy raising at a very, very, oh God.
Ooh.
It's, first of all.
Oh, that's great.
You're going to read it, don't worry, because
okay.
you'll have an opportunity to read it. There's another one.
That's great.
There's another one.
I love that.
So there's puppy raising for the first 18 months, and then they teach it a task. Next.
Mustard hearts just for you, Jeff.
Oh, thanks, Kim.
Hi, Kim. E-collar trained, doing well with obedience. Will correcting with collar for counter surfing confuse?
No. Who is that? Gary, if you don't correct counter surfing, you'll have a dead dog. So you'll have a highly obedient dog, but it'll be dead. Or you'll have to rush to the emergency room with it because it got something off the counter. Absolutely wouldn't confuse it. We can correct a dog for counter surfing on day 1 if we wanted to. Next.
My German Shepherd puppy, 10-month-old, 70 pounds. Very, very frightened of thunder and fireworks. Help, please. So,
Angela, I want to make sure this is what you're going to do. You're going to start downloading fireworks and thunder sounds from YouTube. And what you do, what you're going to do is you're going to punish the act of running around being afraid. You're going to put the dog into place, and it's going to process the fear in place. It's going to shake in place. Everybody thinks it's mean to do that. It's not mean to do that. Your dog can jump out a window and die, go through plate glass and run in the street, so many things. So the act of it running around frantically, you punish, put it in place, let it process its fear in place. Next.
Thanks, Kim. Send all the prayers you can because we're supposed to get snow tomorrow.
I know, freaking winter. Next.
My pit bull is extremely food aggressive. I'm not sure what to do. I've tried everything.
So you haven't tried everything at all, because if you did, you'd fix it. So as far as food aggressive, if you're talking about resource guarding, we have a very specific resource guarding protocol. I just demonstrated at a seminar last weekend. I'll be doing it again this weekend. We show it live. It's with a remote collar. You're teaching your dog the out command. You're teaching your dog to back away from a food bowl. So all your aggressive stuff, I would do a Skype with me. But you haven't tried everything at all. If you've not highly punished your dog with an intolerable consequence for an act of food aggression, you haven't tried everything. Next. And chances are, most likely you made it worse. And this is not blaming or shaming. Most people do things to make it worse, though, for the dog. Next.
What dog toys do you use? Do I have to?
Yeah.
Hi, does she still like black clock anal? Or was that just a phase?
Was that a phase? First of all, it's cock anal, troll. So Linda went through a black cock anal stage from 1994 through what, 98?
Something like that.
1994 to 1998. So, buddy, you're in the 90s. You and your parachute pants, like,
Yeah.
It ain't happening.
You can't touch
all right?
this.
That's right. That went out with Run DMC. So to answer your question, no.
Oh, okay.
She's
great.
out of that phase. Next.
What dog toys do you use?
I use it just to chuck it. I just use it to chuck it. That's it.
I'm having trouble healing a bit behind my hip. His nose seems to always be ahead.
So Sarah, this is the thing, Sarah. If you don't have a dog that's pushy and snotty, fearful, nervous, aggressive, does it really matter? Does it really matter? To me, it wouldn't matter. But if it matters to you, watch my video. Basics. You're right. I'm sorry. Did I say Run DMC? Sorry.
MC Hammer pants.
MC Hammer. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about Run DMC. So watch my 180 move. Watch my 180 move. It's with a Roddy. It's on my YouTube channel. Do that. Next.
I love the pit bull look and would love one, but I'm scared of them because of their reputation.
So Kathy, then don't get one. Don't get one. But most pitties that we work with, first of all, I'm not one of those pity diehards that are like, pit bulls are great and they're all the best dogs. That's a bunch of bullshit. You've never been attacked by one like I have then. You don't deal with the ones that we see. You know what I mean? But every dog, the problem with them is when they bite hard. So you can find a balanced dog. You should be sort of concerned about every breed of dog. Basic Shadow, I'm going to disagree with that. No bad dogs, only bad owners. That is a complete lie. I'm going to make a pause right now. Okay? That statement, and I'm not mad at you either. That statement makes it worse. I want you to know that. Every single owner that comes in with an aggressive dog is fantastic. They're incredible human beings. They are wonderful. They are caring. They are loving. They don't want their dogs to be aggressive. They don't. Yeah, really. And that.
Bye, Felicia.
You know what? You know what's worse? You're actually worse than the black cock comment. Because at least that's a troll. You're just being fucking stupid. Sorry about that. Truth.
And a douche.
Bam. All right? So the problem is, this is what makes them aggressive. Nobody told them not to be. That's what makes dogs aggressive. Nobody told them not to be. Believe it or not, usually love and affection makes the dog aggressive. Fact. Being mean to the dog doesn't make it aggressive. I want everybody to understand that. I specialize in aggression rehab. I'm the guy that works with truly aggressive dogs. And the number one reason why dogs are aggressive is because nobody told the dog not to. Yes, really. Why would I fucking lie? Like, this is an educational show. This isn't like some sitcom here. Next.
Do dogs like black cock anal?
Stop it, Linda.
I can't help it. It's right there.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. What are your thoughts on shock collars?
Come on. Are you brand new to my world? I love the guy. I train all dogs on shock collars. Go to solidcaninetraining.com. Solidcaninetraining.com. Yes, I've been talking about shock collars longer than anybody in the history of social media. That's not ego statement. That's facts. Next.
I have a rescued shepherd that was beat daily. What's the best way to stop him from cowering, etc.?
So the best way to stop him from cowering is to desensitize him to hands. Also, unless you actually know for a fact that he was beat daily, he might. Yes, I like shock collars, and of course I do. They're great. They're fantastic tools.
Is this like a bot or something?
Yeah, there must be. It must be a bot. Yeah. Yeah, educate yourself about what show you're on. Of course. How do you think dogs are trained with rainbows and fairy dust? Come on, painful. You know what? I'm not gonna even respond to you. Just listen and learn. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna do a clicker food hand protocol. Clicker food hand protocol, and that's the way you're gonna desensitize your dog. Next.
One of my dogs gets seizures every once in a while. No clue why.
That's a vet question. Next.
I hear you're coming back to Baltimore. How about Northern Virginia? Dogs everywhere.
Who said that?
Kathy Lewis.
Kathy Lewis. There's dogs everywhere. I got job security. It's not about where there's dogs. It's about, do you know that somebody drove 20 hours from Kansas City to the Baltimore seminar? The longest anybody's ever driven is 36 hours across Australia to one of my seminars. People normally drive anywhere from 4 to 8 hours. For 4 to 8 hours. Oh my God. Goodbye. Yes. I don't have time for your fucking nonsense. Okay.
Right.
Yep. 12 hours there. Exactly. 12 hours, Quinn went. So Virginia is close to Northern Virginia. You could be at my Providence seminar this weekend. Next.
Super losers who really waits till you come on to troll.
Next. Yep.
It's all right, Jamal. We can handle it.
Yep. Yes, I'll be in Denver. RVDogtrainer.com.
Thanks for the info from Mason K. What time would you be live? We're live.
We're live right now. Next.
Oh my God, you have that level of trolling. I'm so sorry. It's fun for us. Finally, something good on here. Okay. When do you start using prong collars on puppies? Is 4 months old too young?
4 months isn't too young. Just be careful on how you use it, and it should be paired with food. It should be paired with food. Next.
How do you socialize pups with strangers after existence stage? Do you have them feed pat?
What I do with puppies is this. What I do with puppies with this is I have from right before 16 weeks old, I have them meet lots of people, and they can, if you want to, you can feed them, have them handle them and feed them. But I'm actually not a big advocate of my dog. I'm a big advocate of its existence. Existence is fine to me. I don't need my dogs to meet people. I just don't. So I'm the wrong person to ask for that. I'm the wrong person for ask. So just being around people is fine. They don't need to interact with them necessarily. Next.
Is there a breed of dog you wouldn't train?
No. There's breeds. I can care less what breed of dog it is. Next. I'm a professional dog trainer.
Dog sitting for a friend next week, would like to help with stopping pulling. How do I start the process?
Prong collar. Next.
My dog barks at people when handled. Appears to be excitement. Correction besides e-collar.
It's probably over arousal. Just be careful. If the person is doing stupid stuff, tell the person to stop doing stupid stuff. It's most likely excitement, though. You can do a little bit of a leash, just a leash pop. Next.
So true. The worst dogs we get in rescue are from homes where they are spoiled by loving people.
There you go. That's how dogs are aggressive. Yep.
Do you think the aggressive dogs are more prominent and less experienced and passive owners?
I think, Brian, great question. I think having a soft energy owner with a more dominant dog is going to always be a recipe for disaster. Next.
I had a Rottweiler that was aggressive, food aggressive mostly.
Yep, that's easy to fix. Food aggression is easy to fix. Next.
9-pound dog, chews sticks and mulch, dangerous, act of God, or too small?
I would do an act of God because the dog's going to end up dead. Heather, next.
Silly question. Any particular reason you use kibble for reward during training instead of treats?
Not because we're food trainers, not treat trainers. There's a difference. There's a difference. So next.
Is your approach a more alpha versus subordinate training?
Nope, not at all. My approach is dog training. I don't believe in all this title stuff at all, because that boxes people in. Like, oh, so you do alpha roles? No, I don't do alpha roles. I don't even talk in a deep voice. I don't tower over dogs. This is my philosophy on dog training. I reward what I want. I punish what I don't want. massive amounts of structure and leadership and guidance in the dog's life. But all this like alpha stuff, yes, I believe in pack leadership, but it's way more than just a title. It's way more than just a title. Next.
When are you coming back to Florida, do you think?
I'm going to be in Florida. I'm buying another house. I close on the house, and I'll be in Florida August 9th. As far as doing a seminar, I don't know. We're just buying another home down there. Next.
Can a dog with seizures be on an e-collar? Is that a vet question?
Yes, your dog can be on seizure. Yes, your dog can be on a remote collar that gets seizures. Next.
Oh, I mean live on your seminar this weekend.
Oh, I have no idea. That's usually just, I never know when I'm going to be doing live because I'm focusing on training dogs. Next.
Well, plus the whole thing wouldn't be live.
Yep.
I don't know if that's the question. Looked online and saw this weekend was full for person and dog.
Sarah, come as an audit. Yes, it's been sold out for a while. My seminars sell out, guys. They sell out. So next.
Hi, Jeffy Pooh and Lin Lin. Love you, Gelman family.
Oh, Heather.
Heather, let me tell you something. I don't let people call me that, but I'm going to let you call me that.
Thank you, Heather.
What about citronella collars?
I find citronella collars are actually mean and abusive. First of all, research the ingredients of citronella. You'll find some cancer-causing ingredients in citronella.
They don't just use citronella, they just use something else in there too? Research
it. Second of all, a proper punishment is an intolerable consequence that should last from 1 to 3 seconds. What you're going to do is you're going to take the swab after the citronella collar gets used a day later, 2 days later, swab the inside of the dog's nose. Citronella still is in there. So citronella collars sound nice and gentle, but they're actually not. They're actually not. I find them very abusive to use. Plus, it stinks. Next.
Idea raffle for a free seminar. I have come to one and would love to come back to watch and learn.
So, Robin, just come as an audit. Come as an audit. You want to come to a free seminar? Tell me which one. Which one you want to come? Let me know. Email me.
Will neutering calm my dog down? He goes next week.
Right after the surgery, it will. But after that, no. Dog training calms your dog down. So we've got, I would say 99.9% of the dogs that come into our training center have been desexed. And guess what? They're not calm. So no, dog training calms your dog down. So like what we do. When you see dogs in our training center and they're all lying down on mats and they look bored, they all came to us like a couple days to a week earlier, out of control. We just teach them how to be calm. But guess what? They all can still run and play. They all still got great personalities. But inside behavior is inside behavior. Be calm. Next.
When walking your dogs, do you ever tell other people to correct their lunging dogs, or do you just keep quiet?
Oh, no, Janine. No. I mind my business. I stay in my lane.
Say that nope again.
Nope.
Oh.
Now, if your dog comes into my space, I'm gonna preserve my safety and the safety of my dog. I'm gonna neutralize the threat, but no, I mind my business. I mind my business. Next.
How to stop people from allowing their dog to approach yours, even when you firmly ask them to stop?
Kick the dog, Carolyn. Everyone's freaking out, right? Oh my God, that's so mean. No, it's not. You're freaking rude. You're a rude, inconsiderate person that doesn't give a shit about my safety, my dog's safety at all. And you don't know anything about the dog that I'm walking. Get your fucking dog away from my dog. So I'm always polite. I come across as this like mean guy. But I'm always very polite. I'll be polite first. But once you don't listen to me, you have to up everything. You've got to up everything. So it's like, hey, can you keep your dog away from my dog, please? And if they don't, then we increase voice and we get physical. Why? First of all, animals respond really well to that. And so do dog owners. Next.
Do you think there are breeds of dogs people shouldn't own?
Russell, yes. I think, please don't take offense. Well, actually, I don't give a fuck if you take offense to this. If you own a Malinois, you shouldn't be asking for dog training help from a pet dog trainer, in my opinion. Just in my opinion. Just in my opinion. And most people that own Malinois, they should already belong to a sport club. in my opinion. And I just had a Malinois that was owned by a wonderful woman at this weekend seminar, and she asked me for help. She's done a great job on her own. She needed to tweak a couple things. But when you're asking basic pet owning, like if you're asking basic pet obedience stuff and you want a Mal, you shouldn't own that dog. I think if you own a wolf hybrid dog, you should have incredible dog training skills already. I think if you own a Tibetan Mastiff, you should have incredible dog training skills already. I think if you own just an Akita, a German Shepherd, a Rottweiler, a Doberman, you should have incredible dog training skills already. That doesn't mean you don't need help. I'm not saying you can never ask for help, but I'm you should have some really good foundational skills in dog training. That doesn't mean you can't ask for my help. Jack, if you own Carolyn's Jack Russell, you should have some. You need to make sure that you're a professional dog trainer before you get that dog. Carolyn, by the way, myself and my whole team are super proud of you. I want you to know that. Yeah, Dogos too. Any of these large power breeds, you need to have some skills. Next.
I have a 4-year-old male, ACD.
Yep.
Any tips for getting a new dog introducing? Would you say sex matters?
Melissa, so you would give a male? I'd get a female. I would get a female. It also depends on your dog, as well as the other dog. So we have a lot of components. And then it also comes on your knowledge of like introducing dogs. Do you know what I mean? So, but if you want to talk about, if you got a male, start with a female. At least start there. Next.
Opinion on shoes such as bully sticks or antlers?
Bully sticks or antlers. So deer antlers are really, really good. Next.
Heather, that was not me. I'm not sure.
No, the other Heather. We know.
Heather.
It was a different Heather. We got Heather. You're not the only Heather. You're not the only Heather.
She thinks she's the only Heather in our lives.
You're not the only Heather in our lives.
Oh my gosh. Reactive dog redirects from prong collar correction. Slip, dominance, dog collar, and e-collar.
Chelsea, you got it right. Next.
My poodle loves my wife more than me. Is this possible? I train him and care for him.
And get over it. And welcome to the world of not being appreciated in life by the ones you love, right?
Oh, that hurts me real bad.
Welcome to the world, man. Sometimes
all the kids like him better.
So sometimes I don't do shit for them. Sometimes ignoring is the best freaking training. It really is. It really is. I know. It sucks. It drives you crazy, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Next.
Encountered a few off-leash dogs on our walks. Best advice for unwanted approaches with scared dogs.
Kick them. Kick them. Mm-hmm. Get some bear spray or get some bear spray. Take your dog, put your dog behind you, and take your foot and kick with intent to harm. And a lot of people are going to struggle with this, and I get it. But you've never seen a dog killed in front of you. I have. You've never been involved in off-leash dogs attacking your dogs. I have. You've never been screamed by someone saying, my dog is friendly. Meanwhile, their dog, its mouth is attached to your dog's neck. I have. Any dog that comes within my circle is neutralized. That doesn't mean I'm going to kill it. What I'm saying is I'm going to do everything I possibly can to protect my wife. I'm old school, guys. My wife, my kids, my dogs, and I actually protect my staff to the death as well because I love my staff. Next.
How to train a reactive dog to have company over?
Adele, what I want you to do is this. I want you to just do a couple of things. Teach the dog how to go into a crate and be quiet, and teach the dog how to do the place command. Those two things. And that's what I want you to do. Don't worry about interacting. And if anybody says, oh, putting the dog in the crate is just management, so be it. Now, I'm not talking about putting the dog in the crate and it can act like a total jerk. It has to go in the crate and lie down and be calm. But don't put it in another room. Put it actually in a crate. Next.
Can a working line GSD be a good dog for a normal family?
Russell, depends on the skill set of the family. But yes. But yes, it can. But most working line GSD breeders, they might have some pet quality dogs as well. But even pet quality dogs from really strong working lines are still too much. For most people. So anything's possible. Next.
Live in city and dog-friendly area with 7-pound Yorkie. How to deal with untrained dogs lunches coming up.
Joshua, I'm not a big fan of picking up dogs, but if I own a 7-pound dog and there was a dog coming at it, I'd scoop up that dog and my foot would go out. Next.
Thank you so much. Giving back for sure.
Oh, thank you, Carolyn. Carolyn, next time I want you to come in and I want to do an interview with you. So I want to do an interview testimonial. I want to do something really specific with you because so many people followed your dog, and just your story is so fantastic. It just really is, and so many people will be helped by your story. And it's not about us getting more business. I mean, we got a 7-week waiting list. You know, it's about just dogs that actually can be helped. Carolyn her dog literally attacked her and her husband on a daily basis. And I mean, it's just such a great story. Next.
Hi, Jeff and Linda. Ruby is doing off-leash stuff in the wee hours of the morning with little distraction.
Awesome. Awesome, Debbie.
Is it true dogs are friendly? Because few wolves had some friendly behavior anomaly.
Tom, I'm not the wolf expert at all. There's some people that are really, really much more skilled about wolves. The descendants of wolves, the modern dog right now is a descendant of a wolf, but that wolf doesn't exist. There was 2 wolves. There was two different, types of wolves. One we have now, one we don't have, and they turned into pretty much dogs. But don't take my word for that. Talk to some expert on that. Friendly dogs were, friendly dogs were kept alive, and non-friendly dogs were killed. So, I think that dogs, the dogs that we meet are not always friendly, and that's not because of. Sometimes it's because of genetics, but it's probably not a wolf genetic that we're talking about. It's just bad breeding. So, to answer your question, I don't think it's really related to wolves. Next.
What is the easiest breed you have trained?
Probably an easygoing pit bull or an easygoing lab is probably going to be the easiest breed for us to train. But the kind of training that we do, we have an easy time with a lot of dogs. That doesn't mean it's not a lot of work, but just because our skill set of our trainers and how we train with reward and punishment, you can get some really good responses from dogs. Next.
If a dog already 100% knows recall on leash, what would e-collar training for recall look like for it?
Oh, it would be, it's literally life and death. It's literally life and death, because can your dog come off of deer? That's the question. Can your dog come off of a cat? If it's chasing a cat, can it spin on a dime and can it come off? If your dog is chasing deer, can you call it off deer immediately, like on a dime? That's what remote collar recall looks like. So not too many dogs that are not trained on remote can do that. Yes, they're out there, but your average family pet dog isn't doing that. I'm not seeing it. So next.
My dog is afraid of the vet.
So be wise. I mean, how often is your dog? I've got one of my dogs hates the vet. I'm not concerned. He goes once every 2 years. So next.
Love what you guys do. Thank you for all the help.
You're welcome, Russell.
Just got the e-collar and prong collar in the mail. Okay, just got the e-collar and prong collar in the mail today. What kind of training should I do first?
Ben, do the place command first. Get the dogs acclimated to the tools first. Do the place command. That's what I would do first. Next.
You guys rock.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Jeff and Linda. Everything our dog has learned has been from your knowledge and advice.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Josh.
Can you explain what dog trainers mean when they talk about a dog's drive?
So, Russell, dogs drive. I mean, there's a bunch of different drives, but let's, there's prey drive, there's hunt drive. So drive can be misinterpreted as a lot. It can be interpreted as a lot of things. There's defense drive. I think when they talk about drive, historically in dog training circles, they're probably looking for a high drive dog. So if you're looking for a dog that, say, does odor work, You want to find one that's got, like, they'll use the ball for that, for hunt drive. How long will the dog look for the ball? How long will they look for drugs? How long will they look for explosives? How long will they do man tracking?
What does drive actually mean? Is it the energy they put out?
Let's call it the willingness to work. Let's just make it easy. The willingness to work, just to sort of generalize it. Let's call it that. Next.
I like watching your stuff. I hope you guys eventually come to Florida for seminars.
Ryan, I do. Every year I'm down in Ellington, Florida for a seminar. This year I might not be down in Ellington though, but I'll do a seminar down there.
Do you have any training tips or videos on digging holes?
Yeah, Ben, remote collar on your dog, highest level. Watch your dog through a window outside. When it starts digging holes, correct it at 100 for 3 seconds. It's not pretty. It's ugly. It hurts the dog. You know, it's okay to cause discomfort to a dog. This concept that we should never inflict pain to our dogs is a bunch of bullshit, because it says that you should never hurt your dog. Most likely takes their dog to the vet. And last I checked, vets are cutting open dogs. They're removing the girly parts and the boy parts from dogs. They're using sharp blades and they're slicing them open. That's pretty freaking painful. They're making dogs vomit to get stuff out of them. That's horrifically, disgustingly painful to the dog. So, you know, if you want to stop something like dog aggression, I assure you it's not done through rewards. It's not. Anytime you see a dog that is highly trained, it most likely had some discomfort in its training. Next.
Do we do My Puppy is Afraid of Cars?
Your puppy's afraid of cars. Get it around cars. Get it around cars, and you can do food. You can do food rewards around cars, but if the dog is so afraid it won't take food. But there's a lot of different training. What you can do is you desensitize the dog to the cars by doing different food protocols. Next.
When should we begin structured walks with young pups? Recommend collar, leash on pups?
Melinda, you can start it at, like, I don't know, 14, 15 weeks old. Little prong collar on the dog. Next.
Thank you for the advice, sir.
You're welcome.
I will train/run my dog, and after a while, he will get distracted by a scent. Should I correct?
Depends which. If your dog's off leash having fun and it knows recall, who cares? But if you're on a leash and you're trying to walk your dog and it puts its nose to the ground and is trying to pull you, yes, you're correct.
What level on e-collar should I use if I catch my dog trying to escape her crate? Working level 12.
So don't worry about the level. So don't look at the remote numbers. Look at the dog and turn it up until the dog stops trying to get out of its crate. Next.
Nothing.
All right. If you're just tuning in, hi, my name is Jeff Gelman of Solid Canine Training. You can go to solidcaninetraining.com. You can go to rvdogtrainer.com. I do seminars around the world as well. Last weekend, we had a great one in Baltimore. This weekend, we have one in Providence. I've got one coming up in Nazareth, Pennsylvania, Elkhart, Indiana, 2 locations in Canada. Go ahead.
What is your opinion of GSPs?
I mean, if you want to, you know, I like them to go. It'd be nice if you worked them for an outdoor person. For an outdoor person, that'd be great. We see. It's more of a Weimaraner Vizsla. Sometimes we see some breeding issues in them not go really well, so they're really, really nervous. But German Shorthair Pointer, if you have an active lifestyle, they're fine. From a training standpoint, they train up fine. I mean, from a training standpoint, they train up fine. But I think you got to be like, why do you want one? And if you're like, hey, I want one because I'm an outdoors person, great, you're on the right track. Next.
Don't trust my vet. Wanted to spay my dog before 6 months. What a weirdo. She's not even full grown.
Right. But it's common, like Jake, it's common for dogs to be like spayed and neutered at like 11 to 12 weeks in the shelter systems. That's for sure. Next.
Thanks so much for the Moo vids on Patreon. Learning a lot.
Oh yeah, I think I put up 2 or 3 other ones yesterday from Moo. Moo is what is he now? 12-week-old border collie. And I put up videos of him for the vet yesterday and then getting on the scale. So next.
Dog's insanely cute. E-collar starting, recall, place, and heal. Also, when doing something way bad, just high level correct.
No, I mean, guys, it's
like jumping and nipping.
Yeah, I mean, it's jumping and nipping. You give a correction on, you know, remote collar training for all your basic obedience. And I've got videos on YouTube that show you how to train things like sit, down, place, recall, heal. Like I've got videos on all that stuff. And it's not about correcting. It's about like motivating and teaching. So next.
How can I train my dog to not jump off the couch or the bed?
First of all, should your dog be on the couch or the bed? That's one thing. As far as how not to train it to get off, what I would do is if you told it to lie down, then it can't break down. And then you correct it for breaking down. Does that make sense? So next.
Any general tips for socializing a 2-year-old rescue that stress barks and growls at all dogs and cats?
Well, we don't know if it's stress barking. I don't know where we got that label from, but let's just call it barking. Let's not call it stress barking, because that's maybe like, you know, somebody probably said, oh, that's stress barking. You know, it's like, whatever, it's called barking. It's just barking. Your dog's barking at other dogs and cats. You can shut the dog up through proper punishment, which would be, you know, remote collar, prong collar. It's not going to make the dog more afraid like everybody tells you it is. It's like, you're being annoying, shut up. You know, telling your kids to shut up doesn't mess them up. It makes them better members of society. You know, the people walking down the street yelling and screaming, like, it's like, have some proper like community manners, buddy. It's like, it's like you're in public. You know, be a responsible citizen. So same with your dog. Getting your dog to exist around people and dogs is the number one thing. Don't worry about interacting yet. Next.
Did you ever have to recommend to a client to put a dog down?
I have. So about 3 dogs a year, maybe, tops. Maybe 2 dogs a year. Keep in mind, we work with some of the most dangerous dogs there is. And that's not like, that's not an ego statement. Like, we work with dogs that everybody would tell the kid put down. Like, we work with dogs. I had somebody at my seminar this weekend that had a doodle dog, some doodle, that was told to be put down. Twice. It was told to be put down by veterinary behaviorists. And you'll know why I don't like them, because they're scam artists, in my opinion. I've done 130 RV dog training seminars. There is 15 to 17 dogs at every single seminar. This dog, so that's a lot. Do the math. Close to, what, 2,000 dogs. This dog was probably the easiest dog I've ever had at one of my seminars. And it was told to be put down by 2 different veterinary behaviorists. She's already spent $10,000 on dog training. And she got more, and this is not ego statement at all. I want everyone to know the difference between a real fucking dog trainer and somebody that like, just like, whatever, teaches dogs to sit and then tells you to kill all the rest. After the first day of this seminar, the dog was better than it's been doing in 18 months of the dog's life. It was the easiest dog I've ever worked with. It was simple, literally simple. I mean, I can't say how simple it was. So anybody dog training, Mike, I would say probably 75% of my clients could have trained this dog. And that's not a diss on her. That's a diss on, like, my industry. But it's a big diss on the veterinary behaviorists out there who don't even pick up leashes. I got no agenda. I got more business than I can handle. I want society to open up their eyes. I want them to open up their eyes and stop listening to your vets and your veterinary behaviorists who try to give you dog training advice. So yes, I've had to recommend owners put down dogs. We deal with dog killers. That doesn't mean you're going to be put down. And we deal with dogs that are highly human aggressive. I'm not talking about nipping. I'm talking about like putting human beings in hospitals. So at some point, the relationship is destroyed between the owner and the dog is too dangerous, and there's nowhere for the dog to go. And putting it in some sanctuary or a shelter is just ridiculous. Next.
I have a Jack Russell Cross escaping, think it's separation anxiety.
Let's just call it escaping, right? Don't worry about what it is, because when it gets hit by a car or it destroys itself on a crate, or if it gets out of a crate and destroys and chews something, like we don't really care why. It's just the act of it doing it. So I've got a great separation anxiety video on my YouTube channel. Start with that. Next. You'll need a remote collar. Next.
Where in Florida are you buying a new house?
We're buying another one in Bradenton, a mile away from our existing house. So I'm in a stage of my life now where I'm going to start buying more real estate, turning them into Airbnbs, because your revenue stream is 3 to 4 times higher than if you just rented them out. So that's where I'm buying another house. So it's another 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house with a swimming pool. Sits on 10,000 square feet of property. And probably by the end of this year, we'll be buying another one. Next. So.
This is from Heather. Would you permit one-day audit spot at Rhode Island seminar?
For you, Heather? Yes. For anybody else? No. Next.
Small house, would you recommend against keeping 8-week-old Dobie crated in our bedroom?
Yes, I would. It's not that small, Melinda. Get your dog out of the house. Get your dog out of the bedroom. Next.
How do I train my... here we go. Hold on. How do I train my wife to be more dominant with our dog? He doesn't listen to her as well as me.
Brian, let me give you a tip. Not from you, buddy. And I say that, Brian, with mad love to you. All right? I say it with mad love to you and respect. All right? Fist bump, man hug. Got it? The worst thing we can do as guys is tell our wives to do stuff, right? Right? So what I would do is I would get your wife, and don't tell her to watch my show. Tell her about my show. Do you know what I mean? Tell her about my show. The worst thing you can do is also tell your wife to do something. Honey.
I think that happened here today. You told me to do something. And I said, what did I say?
I barely made it up here, guys. I barely made it up here.
He's limping a little.
I'm limping a little bit. Yeah, I'm limping a little bit. Okay? Tell her about my show. All right, next.
Dumb question. Why are GSDs trained in German command boards? Is it better? Does it matter?
Russell, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's because of, I train my dogs in German. I just did it probably because I train all my other client dogs in English.
But they only know 2 commands now because he only knows 2 words in German.
That's right. That's not true. A lot of the commands are actually, a lot of people train their dogs in French and Czech, Dutch, German. It's probably more of a working sport thing. Next.
My dog plays with my family's dog until they come into my home, and then she growls at dogs and is territorial.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, Heidi. So what I would do, my dog plays with my family dogs until it comes into my house when she growls. Yeah. So what I would do is, what I would do is, when the dogs come in the house, no more arousal. Boom, place in place. Do that. Next.
What's the biggest mistake dog trainers make?
Probably not being open to different training styles. And as a professional dog trainer, not being good with people is the biggest mistake that dog trainers make. If you're not good with people, you can't be a professional dog trainer. Well, you can, but you'll suck. All right, a couple more.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Here we go. My dog keeps eating the couch.
Crate your dog when you're not watching your dog. Next.
I think people are moving back to traditional training. I've seen a lot more prong collars lately.
I think, Jake, people are finally catching on that positive only training doesn't work. And I think that if people are looking for a healthy balance, I think social media is helping that out dramatically. There's so much free advice out there. I think, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. So next.
Reverse psychology. Us women let men think they're in charge. LOL.
Exactly. I know I'm not in charge, though. That's the thing. All right, guys. It's 1:04, 1 hour and 4 minutes into the show, which means it's time to go. Jeff Gellman, Solid Canine Training, madly in love with you. This is Linda. She actually doesn't work with dogs at all.
I do not.
She does 1 hour a week of dog stuff, and this is it.
This is how I get my paycheck.
All right, and this is it. This is how she gets her paycheck. All right, so I got an awesome staff at the training center. You can go check us out at solidcaninetraining.com. You can go to rvdogtrainer.com to see. Oh, hey, Marta. I didn't even see you there, honey. Marta, I think we're going to be coming to New Zealand. Did you talk to Sean about it? I think, I guess you told you did because you told him February is better. So probably February. All right. And then we'll do Australia too. All right, guys. Take care. Madly in love with you. Bye.